Hey guys, it's Name Voices and I'm back with another video. The topic I wanted to discuss today is called the difference between consuming life and death. Now, before I get into this, I just want to say that there is nothing wrong with eating meat. Let's get that out of the way. And there's nothing wrong with just eating plants or both or whatever one you want to choose, okay? I'm just here to share my opinion on this matter and what I think about it. So, the thought about this video or this title actually hit me about like 2 days ago. I was just sitting there thinking and I was like, what is this difference between plants and meat? And I thought about it and I was like, about how it unfolded and how it hit me. It was very kind of moment. But the difference between eating meat and eating plants is that plants have life. They can generate cells without having roots. They can regrow themselves out of just a single stem or a leaf. So that is life. It's constantly generating itself. And meat does not generate itself. It is as it is, or how it has been killed or born. That's it. It has one form and that's it. It can't replicate itself after it's been slaughtered or killed or whatever way it has been taken off of this plane of existence. And the thing I learned about meat is that there's nothing wrong with eating it. It's just how it is eaten and how it is killed is what's wrong. And I will try to put a video like on this side or wherever I can put it on to show you guys the impact of what you're eating, of the impact of what kind of meat we're eating, of what you're eating, of what I'm eating. So this has pushed me to be more conscious about my diet, and it's because when we eat meat and it is not killed with love and gratitude, the meat can spoil. The meat can be traumatized, is what I'm trying to say. So when you're going out to the grocery store and they give you a pig or a whatever dead animals that you prefer or would like to eat, they have not killed this animal with gratitude nor love. They ship them out to different places, put them in a facility, or they grow up in an animal farm or slaughter farm, and they poke them with sticks, they slice them up with machines, or they shoot them right there in front of all the other animals, or they take their babies and put them on the machine and all the other animals are watching. And what I find very ridiculous and disgusting about this is that people don't think animals have feelings, that the animals that you eat have feelings. They have feelings. Just because they can express it or say it to you doesn't mean that they're not intelligent. So I have to take breaths with this because it is very hard to talk about, and it gets caught up in my belly when I think about it. But these animals have feelings, so whatever horrific thing or traumatic thing they go through while they're inside the slaughterhouses or farms, that gets replicated throughout their cells. So even though that their conscious is gone, their cells, their body, their flesh remembers how it was killed, which means their brain sent the impulses of pain throughout their body, despair, agony, hate, or whatever emotion they felt. They thought that, so it got replicated throughout their whole body because they're scared. They don't know what's going on. They're confused. They're stressed all the time. And they're not put in good conditions. They're around shit. They're piss all day. Then they eat within the same area they shit and piss at. Okay? And you think you're eating a hamburger, but you're probably eating a hamburger mixed with human, or a whole bunch of animals mixed together, which is not good for you because you have to process all that meat, which means you have to process all that stress, all that pain, all that inflammation. And then when you eat it, you wonder why you have all these body aches, or why you're so tired, or why you're so exhausted, or you just feel cranky or just weird, or your stomach's starting to get tight and bloated all of a sudden. It's because you're eating the impulses of that animal. You're eating the flesh of that animal, therefore you're eating its energy, its body, its flesh, its energy. The leftover energy that was in that body is replicated throughout its cells. So then whatever it was feeling at that time is what you will begin to feel, because that's how it was killed in that moment. And because it wasn't killed with love, it doesn't taste good, or it doesn't taste as good. Now they put additives in the food because they know it doesn't taste the same. They know people complain about the taste or the texture because of how they've killed them. This is why it's sacred, and how we kill animals, and why our ancestors killed them with gratitude, why they killed them with love, because they know the difference of killing them with fear and killing them with love. They told you if you kill an animal with fear and it's terrified, the meat's gonna go bad. The blood is gonna shoot up throughout its whole body. This is scientifically proven, and this is spiritually proven. The blood is gonna rush through the body, and that adrenaline, that fear is gonna stay through its body. I don't know if you guys seen that, but anyways, it's rushing through its body. Versus when our ancestors killed the animal, we looked them in the eyes, we shoved the knife in their artery, in their throat, so it's quick, and we stroke them, and we tell them kind words until they pass, because we are honoring its spirit and its sacrifice. So this animal knows that when it dies in peace, it dies in love, because the person that slaughtered it is taking, and my neck's been popping the whole time I've been saying this, so you already know, confirmation pops all the way, baby. But when the animal is dying, we're holding it, we're saying these kind words: thank you for your sacrifice, I appreciate you, you are loved, and I help you pass on into the next plane. I help you come into the next existence. You are loved, and thank you for your sacrifice. When those kind of words, those chants are said over the animal, its spirit rests like it's naturally supposed to. It doesn't fight, it doesn't resist, it rests. It goes into its sleep naturally, and it dies peacefully, because it knows that, okay, my sacrifice wasn't for no reason. These people didn't hate me, didn't kill me out of sport. They didn't kill me out of malicious intent. They didn't harm me for no reason. They are using my vessel to feed their families, or whoever, or themselves. They're not just doing it just to do it. They've honored me, therefore I can go in peace. And if you ever notice too, in certain locations and places, they'll be haunted as fuck, because people could be killing those animals for rituals, which means this animal spirit now is bound to the earth, and its vessels being misused for malicious purposes. Or these places are haunted because these animals and all these life forms have been killed in such agony that they've become tethered to this world. They can't find peace because they didn't get the proper closure they needed to move on. Who could, if they're being slaughtered like that, if they're being killed like that, if they're being chopped down like that? Who could make peace with that if they weren't honored the right way? That's like if someone just randomly like came up to you and shot you and said, I hate you. That would stick with your soul, because what the fuck did I do? Why did you have to shoot me particularly? Why me? That's how those animals feel. Why me? When we kill them, that's how they feel. Why? They want to know why. And of course they know why, but they want to know why in this way. This is not the way for us to be killed. This is not the way to sacrifice. That is not the way. When you sacrifice, you do it with love, and you let it go peacefully. That is how all things must die, is peacefully and with honor. I cannot stress this enough. With honor, it must die, or it will not go in peace. Now, when you eat plants, you see how after I finished all that, it just started ringing. I take little stuff like that as confirmations as well. But another pop. Oh my gosh, you guys, this conversation is very enlightening. I hope you're with me. Stay with me. Now, when you're eating plants, you're eating consciousness, because it's tethered to life form. It's alive. This plant is alive, no matter if it's been chopped from its stem or its root. It's alive. Its cells are still alive, no matter if it's been separated from its source. It's still alive, and it takes in light energy, which means it takes in life. When anything dealing with the sun that uses the sun to grow itself is dealing with life. It's dealing with light. Therefore, sorry, my alarm went off, but therefore that light never dies because it's been replicated throughout the plant's body. The plant has memory. Yes, plants have memory, and this is all coming to me naturally. Most stuff that I tell you guys, I have not looked up before. I just know this. It's just a gift. I just know. Yes, plants have memory. That's also basic knowledge. Yes, they have memory. Anyways, the plants can take in this light, replicate it throughout its being, which means it stays inside of itself, which means when you consume that plant, you consume its memory, you consume its feelings, you consume its thoughts, which means you consume the sun. You are eating sun, you are eating radiation, you're eating life, and therefore that grows within you, and that replicates throughout your body. And the reason why you'll notice that you feel light when you eat plants is because they're a light life force, they're a light life form, light energy. They consume only light and water. You feel clean all the time, and you're constantly getting filtrated when you eat plants a lot, because you notice if you eat a salad a lot, or just plants in general, you'll shit a lot because, like I said, they absorb a lot of water and they take in the sun, which are two natural cleansing properties and elements in this plane. So it's gonna, like, they go right through you. They go through you clean. Versus when you eat meat, it bloats you up. You might be having cramps, or you might be having like weird bowel movements, because that's the agitation that animal has experienced once it was killed. That's why I kept saying that's the difference between, that's the difference between consuming life and death. Plants are life, and animals, when they die, are death. Their energy converts into death. And when you kill something, it dies. But plants are a different matter. They can die within a certain amount of time, but they stay alive a lot longer than, you know, our flesh vessels. You see what I'm saying? They can replicate themselves out of a single leaf. I've done it with onions. If you chop an onion in half, you'll see how the stem keeps growing out of itself. It will use its own cells to regrow itself. It's not that I can't explain it, but it's just something if you can keep up with me, it's something you will be able to wrap your head around. It's like it constantly blooms out of itself. That's all I can say, because that's what I've seen. I've watched it. I've observed this leaf do that. It regrowed itself, out of a stem, which was very beautiful to see and very shocking. And yeah, that is the difference. I will try to get that video up in that corner, but do be mindful of what you're consuming and give gratitude to all that you consume. Be grateful for that animal laying down its life. Be grateful for that plant laying down its life, because they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to, but they did. And they nourished your vessel so you could live another day, so you could speak another day, so you can go out and experience another day. They became a part of you so you could live. We have to give gratitude to all things that we consume and are living in. Be grateful. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to feed you. We really have to get out of our egos when it comes to things that we try to see ourselves superior over, because we're not superior over anything. We are on this plane of existence just like everything else, living out our experience, and we all need each other, because without those plants, without the animals, nothing would be here. Without the plants, you wouldn't have rain, you wouldn't have clean water, you wouldn't have clean air. Without the animals, you wouldn't have food, you wouldn't have clothes, you wouldn't have any of that. So be grateful, because these are one of the first teachers here, the first guides here. They are a part of nature, and they teach you so much once you really sit down and be quiet and listen and just watch and observe. They teach you so much, and you will learn and gain so much from nature just by watching it. Like how I was watching one of my plants grow, And one of the leaves were yellowing, and all the other leaves were just sprouting, just so vibrant and beautiful. And this other leaf was just drooping and just slowly withering away. And it made me think, you can't grow unless you let things go. You see how that plant sent that information to me? That plant was communicating to me saying, I can't grow unless I let this leaf go. It's going to hang on to me, and it's going to stagnate me or stop me from growing. You see what I'm saying? Little things like that. If you really open up your mind, everything's constantly communicating with you. You just have to be open enough to receive that intelligence. Your mind has to be like this to start getting this. If you ever notice that if you're like this, nothing can't get through. It'll just keep knocking off against you like that. But if you open up, you start receiving, you start getting, you start knowing. God will communicate with you, and everything, all of this is God. Me, you, all this is God. The plants, the animals, all of it, that's God. Pieces of consciousness interacting with itself, that's God. Interacting with itself, that is God. But I leave you with this gem, and like I said, I will try to get the video on either side if I can, and if I cannot, I hope I have explained enough to where you have understood what I am trying to say and it has resonated with you in some type of way. But do be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment, as when you do, they share the videos more and they can get out to more people. And I thank you for your time, and I appreciate every last one of you. Thank you for all my supporters. Thank you for all that you guys do for me and for yourselves. And, you know, keep shining, keep rising, keep on vibrating high. And I love you, and peace be upon you. Thank you.